Okay. Um, hmm. What do I want to do this time? What do I want to do? What do I want to do as an individual, as my own person? Let's look at what's it called? The circle fifths. That would help. So, how about we start with E flat, or wait, what is the opposite of E flat? E sharp. Um, E flat. Hang on. E flat. Wait. C D E. Yes, that is D sharp. Okay, D sharp. D sharp. Hmm. So that is a major chord for um a one, or we should shift this up actually. Oh wait, what? I never. Hang on. One, two, three. I don't know.
Fifth to fifth, we follow the circle of fifth, adjacent scales to adjacent scales, each chord being the dominant chord of the following. And this is kind of the same technique than using the dominant of a that would address this type of modulation. It is of their range, which and much like we entirely a beautiful five, we have this chord progression. Any of these chords, which is A major or even A7. This is the fifth degree of the D minor scale. And then after my D minor, I can go on with the tonality of C major I was in before. I don't have to stick with the tonality of D minor after that. D minor being the second degree of my tonality, the A7 chord is then a 5 of 2. It's the fifth degree borrowed from the tonality of the second degree, D minor. This borrowing allows you to add some notes that are not in the original
Hmm.
tonality you're using. This A7 chord is made of the notes A, C sharp, E, and G. See there, we're using the note C sharp that is not normally in the C major scale. So these kind of borrowings are super cool to add accidentals to your chord progression, and you can add the fifth degree of any of your degrees, the 5 of 2, 5 of 3, 5 of 4, and that allows you to use a lot of notes that are not supposed to be in the tonality you're using. But you can do more. You can also borrow a chord from a parallel tonality. Parallel tonalities are the major or minor tonality
Hmm.
of the same.
Okay. Um, I feel like I was already adding accidentals. Um, rah, rah.
So C major is parallel to C minor. D major is parallel to D minor. So at any times you could replace any degree of the major scale by its equivalence of the C minor scale. For example, in C major, we could replace any chord of the C major scale by an equivalent chord of the C minor scale. So in this case, the C major could become a C minor, the D minor could become a D diminished, the E minor chord could become a E flat major. In this case, the
Why
third
is it
degree
E
is
flat?
denoted as a flat 3 because the E became an E flat. And then the F major could become an F minor, the G major could become a G minor, the A minor could become an A flat major, then the sixth degree can be noted flat 6, as the A became a flat A, and the B diminished could become a B flat major. And same there, it could be noted flat 7, as the B became a B flat note. Note how the major chords are written with upper cases and the minor chords are written with lower cases, with the Roman numerals. It's just a bit more simple to say which chords are major and which chords are minor. In the same way, if you come from a minor tonality, let's say A minor to take the relative of C major, so it's all the white keys again, then the A minor chord could become an A major, the B diminished could become a B minor, the
E
C major.
diminished. Oh, that was what's happening. Um, excuse me.
Major chord could become a C sharp minor, which is noted sharp. You may have, and this now I would like to just do. We have and explain exactly how they will annotate and show you is what you use and live in synth that also use on samples like saturation, delay, flanger, etc. And then we could move on to some more particular techniques and maybe do some sound exploration where we build a particular sound together, either for musical use or for sound effects like you could use in a video game for use. As I, if you have each episode, which hopefully you will have enough to start designing your own sounds right away. To do that, I plan to use examples on three main supports: Ableton Live,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I really like this song, and I wish I could emulate it, but alas. Um, I feel like I've really stagnated. Um, hmm. It's like on the 31st last year of December, um, I was really able to kind of just make melodies, and like some of them sounded bad, but like I continued doing them anyway. Excuse me. Hmm. Sorry, I messed up the layout of the stream. Why isn't this making sound? Oh, because it's disabled. Ah! No. What if I just try to like recreate a
Have
song?
you ever heard a song and thought, wow, listening for that first note there? It's just imagine this to be now another thing I notice in our reference track is that it's a lot more soft. There's not any sharp clicking sounds like our version here. So to fix that, let's increase the attack, and this is going to create this kind of fade in effect, making it a lot softer. Cool, we're getting closer. And now we can just go to the effects section right here and really just nail down the texture of it. So if we listen closely to this, I can hear this very faint, almost bit crushed type of texture. It's a little bit hard to explain.
Hmm.
I can hear some weird little noise art.
I was born an empty slave, invisible, devoid of slave shape. I cut myself and covered me up. Right. Try to that. Okay. Hello, monkey. Um, Maybe I can raise it an octave. No. How does it go? Um, oh, that sucks. I try to get a shot for it every year to prevent that from happening. Okay, so let's raise this by an octave. Or not an octave, by a couple notes. Hmm. 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 Suspicious. I think I just kind of prefer it like this. Like just the, yeah. Hmm. Then let's put a, where would be a good place to stop? That's like the halfway point. I like that actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's A? There. Okay, I can't just listen to it over and over. I have to actually like change. Let's try to do some automation, because that is something you can do. You said right click, automation. I don't know how to edit this though. Okay, that's fine. Ah! Control Shift R. Okay. New song or new pattern. Hmm. Then I will become the color rather than you are to be nothing again. Soon I will become. Sorry, I should actually like make music instead of just like listening to it. Circle fifths. A flat is C. Wait. A flat is the middle. Wait. A flat is G sharp. Uh, I was born an empty slate, invisible to foot of shape. Did I do? Oh yeah, I did do something. Bruh. Why is there so much silence at the end? One metric in piece. Hello, Manny. Alright, listen to this one. I'm just listening to my own music right now that I made within like the past 2 weeks. I do not like making music. I don't. Because I'm bad. I'm bad. And I know I'm supposed to, the only way to practice is to, uh, the only way to practice is to practice. I should do something with Eleanor Fortnite. Okay, last one, then I'll get back to doing something. I will sound like a pick-me but if you don't want my music, I don't like it too. That's so silly. Um, you don't have to, because I know you're also learning FL Studio. You just got it. So I would, I would encourage you to pursue it. Uh, Me, I should also encourage myself to pursue it, but that's like harder to say to myself, harder to act on the will. Oh my God. Okay. I did not have many thoughts to express about my music. It was just kind of all like mid. Sorry, I should say things about that. About blood. Okay, how about we do something else? We already made our song of the day. Excuse me. Um, how about we do some writing, maybe for Ham Palace's project? Studio. I know what I was thinking. We could learn some geometry node stuff in Blender. Like I was so I just got you to encourage yourself because I knew you'd tell me not to bend music and in doing so I performed some magic. You're magical? My God. That's actually yeah, no, I thank you. Thank you. What I'm going to do though, what I'm going to do is make a new blend file, or I'll just copy and paste. Geometry notes. Blender Splendor. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, we maybe I'm trying to learn too many complex things at the same time. Because like music theory is like, yeah, we don't need the sea, we don't need the plane, we don't need the sun, we don't need the air. Okay, so let's look at the geometry nodes. Um, what am I trying to look for? Yes, okay. So how to learn geometry nodes, Blender.
Geometry nodes is like artist-friendly programming, letting you perform actions based on rules that you define. And you can do some crazy things with it,
Oh, I know
like
that Twitter
things that were
user.
previously impossible to enable faster production. Every artist should learn the basics, which is what this series is all about. You'll leave with an understanding of how to use the core functionality of geometry nodes while making a practical sugar.
Oh, Asuka, okay. And hi, Eighth. That's awesome. I wish for your success for that, Manny. I should really get back into drawing. Like, goddamn. God freaking damn. God damn. Um, okay. Layout. There's gotta be, hang on. Geometry node, geometry node, geometry node, geometry node. It's just, so I want to make a very, hang on, let me actually, um, let me pull up the thing I want to make. Menu, 37, oh no, 35. It could feel like trying to learn too many complex things at the same time. But I remind myself some 12-year-olds is probably doing it, and I'm being pissed off. It never works out for the hour. I love your approach. I love your approach. Okay. Shimeji. Okay. So, add image. Where is the image reference? Image. Where did I just? Why can't I freaking? Oh, it's okay. So I really want to adapt. Oh, wait. Uh, is that one fish still spinning weirdly in the tank? Wait. What are you referring to? I don't remember, to be honest. But what is it? Alt R, Alt G, Alt S. Uh, I want to make this manga panel. Oh, not need to do that. 90. Where's snap? Snap to grid. That's good enough. Okay, so let me show you. So like in Starless World 2, the song it starts off with a instrumental piece or like a movement, I guess. I don't actually know the term. But like I want to make these shapes expand and rotate and like do their I just want it to look like okay, instead of just saying I just want it to look pretty, I want to actually like define what I want to do. So like I want the each individual circle within the circle to be rotating in opposite directions perhaps or like a spiral. And um hello Lucky. Um and I want to try to like um so first of all I want some of them to expand. Oh wait, why is it it's tracking so slowly? There we go. Also we can turn off the fish. It's just I want to like see the uh well I don't know. I need to like study my geometry nodes. Context? I'm explaining the context. Like what was I saying? Sorry, I forgot already. I want to like make the geometry nodes that dictates the shape and like the the fluctuations in the spiral and like Also, I should try. This is gonna be hard, but okay. Um, let's find. Okay, I want to actually learn and not just see previews. Oh my God,
To the
please.
Blender community, which is also the latest and most anticipated feature, geometry nodes. Now, nodes are powerful. Every major 3D program either already has
Expanding it, yes. Spending more time. Kind of like with the fish, like the spiral, except 2D and like with like a little flux. Like you see how there's like lines and fluctuations. Like this is gonna be really hard, but I think if I just try enough time, like it took me 5 months to like finish the black hole, and so like I think I can. I if I just spend enough time, I can brute force it. So let's just actually get used to
using
geometry
procedural
nodes by
workflow
following.
or is adapting to it. Blender's Everything Node project's first installment is Geometry Nodes, which is still at a very early stage of development, I would say, but can make life easier even with the limited number of nodes that we have at this moment. So it's fun, it changes the way we used to make environments, procedural effects, data
I want something
transitions.
more recent because this is 4 years ago. Um, okay.
Imagine being able to procedurally model, rig, and animate things, as well as have full procedural control over the whole thing. Want to change the model? That's good. Want to change the animation or individual parameters? No problem. Well, this does actually exist already, and it's called Geometry Nodes. Subscribe, join Discord, let's go. Geometry Nodes is a node setup which lets you procedurally model and animate your assets while allowing for exposed parameters so you can change anything on the spot. Procedural meaning you can change anything you want on the fly, non-destructively, and the whole thing's gonna be responsive. As a very simple example, I can add a cube as my geometry input, give it enough subdivisions, and put instances on points. I'll explain how all of this works later, don't worry. I can use anything I want for these instances, so I can use the same cube, or even better, a custom cube model which already has bevels. Bevels look nice. For the scale, I'll use a noise texture so I can randomize it, clamp it down with a color ramp node, and set it to 4D so I can animate it. With a single slider, I can now do this. Geonodes. Set up some custom control so it's easier to resize and make it denser, give the W value a hashtag frame driver so it's automatic, and now I have
I see the vision. I've tried the same approach, which is staring at the self-study map text. But let's just say I grew tired of the one-sided relationship. I don't just want to look at you, you know? Wow. Interesting. Let me understand you too. Onegai! Um, Thank you for seeing the vision. I try to convey what I mean. I have to actually learn with geometry nodes how they function because there's no tutorial for this. I'm gonna have to make this from scratch. Unlike the black hole, like yeah. Um, but yeah, I admire your effort to learn math. Like I remember that was like one of the first things you said in my chat, that you're like studying. I forgot the specific division of math. It wasn't arithmetic. It was something else. But I think that's super cool, and you should continue, even if it's one-sided.
this abstract thing. I can expose these parameters so they're easily accessible and animatable without the need of the geometry nodes editor window thing. And the best part about this is I can change any of these settings and the whole thing is going to adapt. Without me having to mess with any of the animation data. Imagine making all this by hand. That'd be awful. Imagine changing things is just a nightmare. This is so much better. That is where the real power of geometry nodes comes into play. Not gonna lie, if you look at some of the best geometry nodes creations out there, I'm definitely not up there on the list. But I'm good at teaching things, and you guys voted for this, so I'll try my best to explain how the logic works so you can get the gist of what the workflow is like. But only if you subscribe.
I'll
I'm not
subscribe.
asking again. To start working with geometry nodes, select any mesh, curve, or text
Okay,
object in the scene.
so this is going to be attempt one. So let's add a curve. Is there a spiral? Yes, there is. Move this. Okay, we can turn off the other. Oh shit. No, where did it go? Shift A, curve, spiral, Archimedean. Ah, why? I I don't know what I'm doing. Spiral. Maybe I should start with the circle though. Um, one turn. Why? Ah! Every time I control Z, it just goes away instead of. I'm so angry. It was 24 steps. Radius, height. Yes, there we go. Okay. But I do want it to be 2D, so like, I keep forgetting every time I click Control Z. Um, goddamn. Okay, instead, let's just follow this tutorial.
The Geometry Nodes window and click New. This will create a new Geometry Nodes graph as well as add a new GeoNode modifier onto your object. You can also change them in new or I'm not asking get the teaching things, but open the Geometry Node. Start working with Geometry Nodes, select any mesh, curve, or text object in the scene, open the Geometry Nodes window and click New.
Okay, let's just start simple. So no, spiral, Archimedean, let's just leave it like that. Maybe change the height to like 1. Um, wait, why is it not going to, oh, 0. Okay. Shape, maybe 2D. Um, sorry, there's something in my ear. Okay, let's just leave it 3D, I guess. Don't know. Okay. So this is our curve. We click new.
This will create a new Geometry Nodes graph as well as add a new GeoNode modifier onto your object. You can also change them from the dropdowns just like with materials. Those two are the same thing. You get two nodes, which are your input geometry, which is your original mesh, and the output geometry, which is the end result. You don't need to start with your original geometry though, you can swap this out for anything, including other objects in the scene. So yes, you could put geonodes on a monkey and have it start as a cube, don't get confused by that. It's all about the input, where it starts from. Anyway, here you can add nodes that will affect your geometry before it reaches the output, like extruding faces, instancing, data extraction, and so much more. The best part is you can change any of these values anytime you want.
Ooh, so I have an idea. So like, what if for like, we put like instances and we put like lines on, it won't let me zoom in. What if we put like lines on the instances and randomize it so that the lines protrude, is that the word? Excuse me, protrude? Extrude. Excuse me. Um, I don't know.
And it's still going to work because underneath this procedural node tree, you still have the original geometry. So it's just going to redo all the steps from the tree and update your end result. So it's all procedural and non-destructive. So here's the thing. Geometry nodes are a very, very, very broad tool. And while I could sit here and tell you what each and every individual node does, I don't think I'd be showing you anything.
Oh, wait.
Sit here and tell you what each and every
Daniel Craft 80 geometry. Oh wait, that's material notes, never mind.
individual node does. I don't think I'd be showing you anything particularly useful because their usefulness comes from the complexity of being able to stack them on top of each other and perform complex operations. So instead of giving you a lecture on every individual node, we will build a procedural sheet music generator with useful animatable parameters, and I'm hoping to teach you the logic behind the geometry nodes workflow along the way. It might get a little complicated as the final graph looks like this, but I'll be explaining every step of the way, so hopefully it's going to be understandable. Let's begin. Let's take a look at the sheet music. It's got 5 lines, it's covered in notes, and the lines trim in and out as they wish. I think the best starting point would be a Bezier curve because all the lines could follow the curve. We could easily extrude it and adjust it and shape it any way we want. So let's add a Bezier curve.
Okay, let's just follow the Bezier curve tutorial.
Its control points further apart to have more space and open the geometry node.
Wait, what? Whoa.
Add a Bezier curve. I'll move its control points further apart to have more space and open the geometry.
We don't need to snap to grid anymore. Y, X.
Geometry nodes editor, where we'll add a new geometry nodes tree. Our input here is the original curve, and if you come to think of it, the lines are basically just a duplicate of the same curve stacked on top of each other and thick. So let's do that. I'll add a transform geometry node. This lets me move, rotate, or scale any geometry that I put into it. So I'll move it up by something like 0.2 or something. Then I'll add a join geometry node, which does what you expect, and plug both of them in. So the join geometry is now showing us the original curve.
Is this applying? Yes, okay. And then this went up, right? Yes, it did. Okay.
As well as the curve, and plug both of them in. Then I'll add a join geometry node, which does what you expect, and plug.
Wait, how do you, what? Oh, shifting. Join geometry.
Plug both of them in. So the join geometry is now showing us the original curve as well as the curve that's been moved up a little bit. So they're both being shown because they're both in the input.
Did I do something wrong already?
Move, rotate, or scale any geometry that I put into it. So transform duplicate of the same curve is the original curve. The geometry nodes editor, where we'll add a new geometry nodes tree. Our input here is the original curve. And if you come to think of it, the lines are basically just a duplicate of the same curve stacked on top of each other and thick. So let's do that. I'll add a transform geometry node. This lets me move, rotate, or scale any geometry that I put into it. So I'll move it up by something like 0.2 or something. Then I'll add a join geometry node, which does what you expect, and plug both of them in. So the join geometry is now showing us the original curve as well as the curve that's been moved up a little bit. So they're both being.
Am I seeing something wrong? Oh my god, I already did something. Oh wait, no, I see two. I literally saw two. Maybe we should increase this by, oh, I did rotate the transformation 0.2. There we go. I was like wondering, oh damn, I did do something wrong.
Being shown because they're both in the input. Makes sense. So I'll add another transform geometry node, set it to something like 0.4, and join that up in the join geometry as well. And for the last two lines, I'll go into the negative so the whole thing is centered. So minus 0.2 and minus 0.4. Nodes, set it to something like 0.4 and join that.
Shoot. I need to give myself more room, I think. Oh, no, did not mean to. Rah. Okay, this is 0.4. And then he said duplicate both. This is negative 0.2. Negative 0.4.
That up in the joint geometry as well. And for the last two lines, I'll go into the negatives so the whole thing is centered. So minus 0.2 and minus 0.4. Now I have 5 lines and they all follow the original Bezier curve. But what if I want to change the line spacing? What do I do then? What now? Am I gonna go in every single time and try to offset it manually, doing the math so the offset is relatively the same between all of them and stuff like? Of course not. That's stupid. Why would you do it like that? We have the power of geometry nodes, okay? Don't forget that. Let's make it fancy and simple to use with a single slider. I'm gonna add a value node and set it to 0.2. This is gonna be our default one, and we'll add some math to get the values of all the other lines. And then by changing one, the math will automatically take care of everything else. But if I connect that into the transform socket directly, it's gonna offset it by 0.2 on the X, Y, and Z, so the line's gonna fly away. But I only want it to move on the Z axis. So we need to combine the X, Y, and Z inputs, and to do that, I'll add a combine XYZ node. This node takes 3 different values for the X, Y, and Z, and then just gives us a single vector output, which we can put in the transform. If I plug this value into...
Oh, you know what? I might do some math case of you. I've neglected my schoolwork because it's uninteresting, poorly arranged and fractured, but I shouldn't trade studying like what I like all together. Um, I'm glad, genuinely. I hope you enjoy it, even if it's, fractured and poorly arranged, which is an interesting way of phrasing it. Um, yeah.
to the Z value and leave the X and Y at 0, and then plug that into the transform socket, the line is now where it needs to be, and I can control it with this value thing. And because we're using the combine XYZ everywhere, I'm just going to duplicate this 3 other times so I have all of them here. Since we want a single slider to control all of this, we need to use the same value for 4 other sockets. So we'll add math to get the other values, and this value thing. And because we're using the combine XYZ everywhere, I'm just going to duplicate this 3 other times so I have all of them here.
Forced to watch and fun. Oh, is that because of me or what happened? I hope that isn't on my end. Oh, your internet, yeah. I'm sorry about that. My internet also can get pretty bad sometimes. Like, um, hang on. Sorry, I'm like focusing. Wait, did I do something wrong?
Since we want to combine X now where it needs to be, and I can control it with this value thing. And because we're using the combine XYZ everywhere, I'm just going to duplicate this 3 other times so I have all of them here. Since we want a single slider to control all of this, we need to use the same value for 4 other sockets. So we'll add math to get the other values, and this one will control all of them, and they'll adjust automatically because of all the math in between them. So the top line is always going to be twice as much as this one, so let's just add a math node, set it to multiply, and multiply by 2. So no matter how much this
Oh,
value is, the top one is going to be twice.
okay. Math multiply. Oh, that's what math nodes do. It's like I, oh my God, I've never understood like math nodes because like, my God.
As much, so it's always going to be the same.
And then this one, let's see if I can get into the workflow and predict ahead. This one will be um, -2 or negative -2.
For the lower line, I'll multiply by -1, so it just flips it down. And for the lowest line, I'll multiply by
I
-2,
knew it.
so it's flipped around and twice as strong. So when I slide this value, the lines are spacing apart because the math is mathing. Go figure. Congrats, you made your first Geometry Nodes control. Good job, I'm proud of you. However, we can go further than this. Our node tree now looks like this, just a refresher. I've organized it a little bit so it's not confusing. But like I said, we can
Wait, how do you do that?
Our node tree now looks like this, just a refresher. I've organized.
Oh, hello. Let me remember what your channel was. I'm so sorry that I don't remember off the top of my head. Um, go to channel. Oh, goodbye. Oh yeah. I saw your yes. I saw your video 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Or I don't think I watched it 3 weeks ago, but the only video you have is from 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. And bye, Manny. Thank you for stopping by. Um, okay. Where were we? Oh yes, how do we organize?
Proud of you. How does math flipped around and twice as strong? So when I slide this value, the lines are spacing apart because the math is mathing. Go figure. Congrats, you made your first Geometry Nodes control. Good job, I'm proud of you. However, we can go further than this. Our node tree now looks like this, just a
I don't know how to do that. Um, hmm. How do you organize geometry nodes? Let me look this up. How to organize geometry nodes. Hmm. Hang on, I'm trying. This is so hard. Um,
Hey everyone, this Blender tutorial is all about how to organize nodes in Blender. We will cover 8 ways to organize nodes, including node frames, node groups, reroutes, and more. Stay till the end to see a really great add-on that helps with this as well. I'm using the shader editor, but all of this will apply to geometry nodes. So let's go. The first way to clean up an unorganized node tree is to collapse nodes you don't need access to. We simply click the arrow at the top left of the node and it collapses down to this. We can expand it by again clicking the arrow, but the second we can the shader has a lot of input sockets and we may only be using a few. Let's select the node and then use the shortcut Control H. It's hidden all of the unused values, but we can still
okay.
see the labels and settings for any sockets that are in use. The node is smaller and tidier. Pressing Control H again will unhide the sockets. Tip 3 for organizing nodes in Blender is to give them custom labels and colors. When we have a node selected, just like we name,
node in the background also up to another to keep the front remove select the friend will to in the using nodes and make the group kind of like label result that's plugged into the socket. We can see the be able to the group input node to put sockets available where we have a tab for group. Here we can rename the input values or and available if we need to go into the outliner. Change this drop this.
How do you add like
press Shift A to add a node. We can search for reroute or find the node under the layout group.
oh,
The node is just this little dot, and we click to place it where we want. Like other nodes, we can drop it onto a node connection in order to add it between two already connected nodes. The reroute node is simply to clean up the connections, which are called noodles, that are between nodes. A reroute accepts only.
Okay. So let's try that. Reroute. I don't know what I'm doing. Why didn't you tell me how to organize them? Rah! You just said, oh, I organize them, but like I don't know how to do that. My God.
Refresher, I've organized it a little bit so it's not confusing, but like I said, we can make this value even more useful by exposing it so it's accessible through the modifier stack. You can expose parameters by simply dragging them backwards into this open socket of the input geometry node. I'll disconnect this top Y value and plug it into the group input, and now it's created a new value.
Oh, I should have done that. Oh wait, that was the right one.
If you select the group input node, press N to see the sidebar and go into the group panel, you can now see the group sockets. I'll rename this Y by double-clicking it and call it line spacing. I'll set the minimum to 0 so we can't go into the negatives, and set the maximum to 10 because I don't think I'll ever need anything above 10. That's pretty crazy. And I'll set this value back to the original 0.2 and plug it back into the Y. I'll also replace all the other values with the line spacing and just delete the
Wait.
value because we don't need it anymore.
Oh my God.
Set the maximum to 10 because I don't think I'll ever need anything above 10. That's pretty crazy. And I'll set this value back to the original 0.2 and plug it back into the Y. I'll also replace all the other values with the line spacing.
How did you do that?
And
What?
just delete the back into the Y. I'll also replace all the other values with the line spacing and just delete the value node because we don't need it anymore. We have this value now. And so everything is...
Dude, I don't know how to organize these freaking... how do you... Yes, we're trying to do we're trying to do geometry nodes. But I'm just so like the person who made this tutorial is not explaining every single detail, which to be fair, they don't have to, but like because I'm an absolute beginner, it's like I'm not actually absorbing the full process. And so like I'm like, how do I make it organized? And like stuff like that. So how do you hang on. Cutting tool, Blender geometry nodes. What is it? How to cut loops. No, that's not. Ah! Um, okay, how about, oh wait, what was that? Insert? No. Uh, select, show high, no. Oh, no. Organized. These are frames for visually organized. Yes. I will do frames later. It's just the person in the tutorial hasn't done frames yet, and I'm trying to figure out how to like what is it? It's Shift A layout. I'm trying to learn how to do reroutes, but like it is not working. Or I think I just solved it actually. There we go. Okay, never mind. I did it. It's just it's not pretty. I'll say that much. Um, yeah. Uh, oh, wait, what is it's doing here? Delete. Oh, wait, did I delete? Okay, delete that. Um, okay, that actually looks a little bit better. Um, how does the person make it like straight lines though? I don't get that.
Driven by this value now, and because it's plugged into the group input, it's now visible in the modifier stack. So you can change it from there anytime you want. In the group socket, you also have extra settings like changing the type, for example. You can make it a vector, integer, even a custom object if that's what your rig requires. You can give it a description, an attribute, change how it's displayed even, give it a default value or hide it, and so on. But we don't need any of that right now. We just have an exposed value that lets us change the spacing of the lines. Now let's make them thick. Which isn't actually that simple, because just adding a set curve radius isn't actually going to make them thicker. It just sets its radius property. If you actually want to make them thicker, they need a profile curve. It works the same way as any normal Bezier curve, where you have the main curve and a curve which is just for the profile. So thinking about that, we don't actually need 5 parallel curves. We need a single curve and a profile curve, which is just 5 circles stacked on top of each other. So we have one main curve, but the profile is 5 different curves. So those would get pulled along the curve, and we technically get 5 lines. So instead of the group input, aka my main Bezier curve, being fed into the transform nodes, I'm actually going to replace that with a curve circle node. Set its resolution as low as as you can and set the radius to 0. I know we want circles, not dots, but we'll be converting this from a curve to a mesh and back several times. If you do raise the radius, you should see 5 little triangles, but put them back to 0. Just remember that the triangles are there. Now I'll add a curve to mesh tool, which will change curve information into mesh information. So every curve segment, but put them back to 0. Just remember that the triangles are there. Now I'll add a curve to mesh tool, which will change curve information into mesh information. So every curve segment is now a vertex and these are now edges. The reason I did that is because it gives me a profile curve input. So I'll plug my original curve into the curve socket and my infinitely small curve input. So I'll plug my original curve into the curve socket and my infinitely small triangles into the profile socket. This also changes our transformation axis from Z to Y due to the circle's orientation. So change these. Again, if you raise the radius here, you'll see 5 triangular tubes go orientation. So change these. Again, if you transformation axis from Z to Y due to the circle's orientation. So change these. Again, if you raise the axis from Z to Y due to the circle's orientation. So change these. Again, if you raise the axis from infinitely small triangles into the profile socket. This also changes our transformation axis from Z to Y due to the circle's orientation. So change these. Again, if you raise the radius here, you'll see 5 triangular tubes going down, but put it back to 0. I just want you to know they're there because you'll see 5 triangular tubes going down. But put it back to 0. I just want you to know they're there because it's hard. 5 triangular tubes going down, but put it back to 0. I just want you to know they're there because it's hard to see. Now, at any point that there's a triangle, you technically have 3 vertices in there because triangles are made of 3 vertices and they're scaled infinitely small, so there are 3 points there positioned in the same place. That could cause issues for us, so I'll add a merge by distance node, and this node will look for a threshold of range, and if it finds multiple vertices in the same spot, it's just gonna collapse them together into one. Because all these triangles are on top of each other, they're automatically just gonna collapse into a single vertex. For some reason, the curve is just now visible in the viewport. I don't know why that was not the case before, but at least now we see what we're doing. And because we use the circles as a profile curve instead of duplicating the main curve 5 times, this setup should now also work with the curve tilt. So it's gonna respect your curve no matter what. But if you remember, we're trying to trim this curve from both sides, and we can't reasonably do that with a mesh whatsoever, so we actually have to convert this back into a curve. Because curves have a direction and can be trimmed from start to end, while meshes have no such controls. So back into the curve we go. Add a mesh to curve node, and now every single vertex is now a point on the curve, and all the edges are now segments of the curve. Now we have the lines, they respect the shapes. Now the next step is make them trimmable from both ends. Yeah. This is hard. We have to trim the curves. I'll put this stuff in a box by selecting it and press Ctrl J and give it a custom color.
I'm muted. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me know. I'm so sorry. I hate when that happens. Um, this is what you were talking about with the frame. So you select all. Oh, select all. Control J. It's control. Wait, I thought you said Control J.
I'll put this stuff in a box by selecting it and press Ctrl J.
Yeah, you did. I'm pressing Control J. Join a new frame. That's fine.
And give it a custom color so it's organized.
How do you give it a custom color?
By selecting it and press Ctrl J and give it a custom color.
He just cuts to a new. I don't know. I don't know how he does that.
Color so it's organized. I'll give it a resample curve node to get back some resolution. This is now based on the Bezier curve's actual resolution, but when I place my curve, the Bezier handles from both ends. Yeah. This it and press Ctrl J and give it a custom color so it's organized. I'll give it a resample curve node to get back some resolution. This is now based on the Bezier curve's actual resolution, but when I place my curve.
Oh, also just remember you can scale nodes, like you can scale it. So select some nodes and press S. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I forgot you can do that. Oh, and then you said press S, Y to scale on the Y-axis, 0 to line version. Oh, that, yeah. Okay, thank you. Getting out of it. I don't, so like, I wish I understood what I was doing, but I'm kind of just following along with the tutorial step by step without, and the steps that he doesn't include are the ones that I just completely fail at internalizing. So like, I understand math nodes now. I understand what the combined XYZ is doing. Yeah, no, I can't really do much either, but we're learning Blender. Um, Specifically the division of its function called geometry nodes, which is basically like math for artists. It's like you can set rules about like your meshes and your objects, and you can just make them do it. So like for example, you see how the lines are like evenly spaced? Well, instead of having to click each line and make them like individually go up and down, I can just move this slider down and up, and it like makes it makes it all scale together, which is really cool and hard to do because you had to set it up with all the stuff on the bottom of the screen that's moving right now. Um, so I think I will make an attempt at where is it? I just want to be able to like, ah! How do I do this? This is gonna be so hard. So it's okay. First of all, it's a spiral, and it has instances. I remember that word, instances along the spiral to like. Oh, you don't have to understand. It's okay. I don't understand. Um, and thank you for sticking around. I appreciate your support. Um, it has instances around each point, forming lines, and some of the lines are like squiggly. This is gonna be so hard. So what I'm thinking, okay, first of all, we have snow. This is gonna be so hard. Ah! So I'm thinking that we have an input of snow for um each dot is like a piece of snow. That's gonna be so like hang on for the fish. It's like I had this fish as the input right here. So this is our input. And then for each instance along the spiral, we put like um we put a fish for each instance. And so for in correlation, we have it snowing, and I will figure out how to make it snow in Blender later. In fact, how about and then each of them expand gradually. So it's probably like a scale node, if that even exists, probably, hopefully it exists. A scale node based off a spiral, and for each instance we have lines. And then some of them we have to have like a green screen so that we can put memories of, or maybe that might be too hard. I don't know. We will figure it out. We will, because I'm not going to give up. I never gave up on the black hole. That took me 5 months, and I succeeded, even though it took 5 months. So let's just try to turn this off, turn this on. Okay. So, hang on. All geometry nodes excluded. Rendered.
Hey, welcome to this tutorial. Today I will show you the most of the nodes from the subcategory geometry in the system geometry nodes in Blender. And let's get started. Let's open the Blender launcher, or you can download the latest experimental build from blender.org. We will be
Wait,
using
how old
the
is this?
latest Blender
3 years?
3.4 alpha.
Ugh.
Let's open it now.
Is there something more recent? This is 5 years. Ah! Ah! Explodes everything! Oh wait, oh, this is actually what I need though. Hang on, I'm gonna save this video. Because I need to add snow. Yes. Save tutorials. I need to. Damn. I should really. This is gonna be tough, but I think I'm gonna stick it out. So, let's watch this video anyway.
Hey, the node tree and collapsing the right side. We are here in the empty geometry nodes editor. As we discussed 2 videos before, this is here geometry nodes. This is a modifier. So in geometry nodes, you can manipulate the geometry of your object via
Mm-hmm.
several nodes that can play together. And this is basically geometry nodes.
Oh, and we can study the fish. The fish. Okay. So yes, there's a scene time. So we should probably add like a scene time, and scale it by, I don't know. Is there? This is gonna be so hard. But I have to believe in myself. Hmm. Oh my God. Hmm. Hmm.
Here we have an empty geometry nodes tree. So the geometry will flow in then it goes through our node tree, and then it will go out, and everything that goes out of here will get displayed here in the view that will trigger. And function, we have to drag it over our noodle, and we can see our noodle turns white, and then we can release our mouse, and it will already
Where is the next part
detected
then?
in the middle here. And we can see also nothing changed, and this is because we have already a cube, and this node does nothing else than just taking a box and bringing it as near as possible on our mesh. How can we see that? We can go into X-ray mode and into wireframe, and then we can take our original face here on the top and we can scale it down, and we can see geometry nodes puts this bounding box around here, and we can even manipulate our mesh. For instance, if we extrude this here, we can see geometry nodes takes a box and puts it
Okay,
as
this one
best
doesn't
as
look.
possible around our mesh. This looks first of all like this.
I don't know how to approach this. This is I think this might be, I don't want to say it's impossible, but like this is gonna take longer than I thought. So like, okay, let's just try, hang on. Instead of just like sitting down and not doing anything, let's see if there's a scale. Okay, there is. Let's see if there's a scene time. Yes, there is. For the fish by scene time. So I think moving an instant offset added for the fish by scene time, but that would be linear. I'm making up words. Yeah, I don't know what an addend is. I'm so sorry. Let me look that up. Hopefully there is a result and it's not just a made up word. Addend. I don't see what an addend is. I'm so sorry. You love fish? I love fish. Fish is my favorite animal. Rah! I love fish so much that I made them my near pronouns. But a linear, wait, sorry. Moving an instance offset addend for the fish by scene time. That would be linear. I don't know how to interpret that. I'm so sorry. Okay. So seconds. How can we do? Okay, let's look at the geopath node. So we have, oh yes. Okay. So I followed this from a tutorial. I forgot which one. It was like to make an aquarium. So the scene time goes into, why does it go into a divide? The scene time, oh, we need an object info. I'm so scatterbrained right now. Oh, wait, why did that disappear? Maybe relative? Yeah. Oh, as instance, possibly. No. Okay. Scene time into divide seems like just a way to scale it. Oh, really? So, wait, scale? I thought that was like how, if every, okay, so look. fish moving around in the spiral. I'm trying to like reverse engineer. If I had like a lifetime of literally no sleep, just working on Blender 24/7, I could probably reverse. Oh, oh no, you can't see the nodes. Oh no. I can try to zoom in. Let me. Is this better? Yes, they already move along the curve. So like, thank you for trying to help me, by the way. I really appreciate it, genuinely. Um, I just, um, I don't know. Okay, let me look up the aquarium tutorial. Aquarium Blender tutorial. I spelled tutorial wrong. Yes, this one.
Today we are creating this stunning fish simulation in Blender, plus building the beautiful issue is that so we have a play from the start. You will be able to see it looping time
Hmm.
node which is to be on that curve. Our curve has disappeared, but for example we are going to start path geometry node. You can drag the part inside the geometry node and connect it to
Oh,
the geometry node.
okay.
After that we can hide the path from the collection.
So let's, sorry, I'm gonna turn off the thing I have on screen currently. Um,
So that we don't have to work with it right now. And make sure
of
you set it
course.
to relative as well, because only then the transformation that we made on the curve will be able to see that. Now for example we are going to start working with just a simple point. So press shift A and search for points, and here is a point. Now we want to this point right here to be on that curve. Our curve has disappeared, but don't worry about it. You can bring it back by again enabling the curve from here. Now so that it follows the path, we can fetch the position of the curve from this here geometry. So what we need is by pressing shift A, we will search for sample curve node, and if we plug this into the curve, now it will give us various results, which is position, tangent and normal. What we need is the position, so we can connect this position, a set position node, which will be connected to our point.
Hmm.
So if we connect this to the position,
Okay, so what I'm thinking, uh, why am I making myself suffer by going through all this? Rah. But I have to learn somehow. And I'm gonna be a very beginner, but um, so I think the main problem so far is that our curve does not look like a curve. It looks like a freaking circle. So that's, oh wait, I should have deleted it. I think we have to like, I think I may need to like, mm, mm, how do we make this a spiral? How to make a spiral in Blender? A 2D spiral.
Hello, this is a quick video to show how to create spiral curve in Blender. In Blender, we can use an add-on to create spiral curve. We are in Blender 4.2. We
I'm
can
in
go to
4.5,
Edit
like that.
and Preferences, and then go to Get Extensions, and we can search Extra.
Yeah, I already have that add-on, I think. Um, Oh, add-ons are cringe? What makes you say that?
Objects. And then click install to install this add-on. And then we can close this panel. Then we can go to add and choose curve and go to curve spirals. We can find many types of spiral we can create. For example, I choose Archimedean and close up to view it. And we can go to the panel. There's many settings to set the spiral. For example, we can adjust the radius growth to positive or negative, and we can adjust the radius.
Oh wait, how did you do that?
The spiral, for example, we can adjust the
Radius growth. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's how I. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Steps 8. No, come back. Curve. Spiral, Archimedean. Turns. Oh, there we go. Yay, we did it. And we can make it. We don't need as many steps though. Wow. I know. I know. Okay, so there's our spot. Oh, so every point, every step, we can make a line like this and like have the lines be randomized. And I want it to like look exactly like this stuff. So like, how are we going to do the shaded regions, for example? Or wait, maybe, you know, now that I think about it, why do I have to do this via geometry threads? Why can't I not just model the shapes and then expand and rotate them? I don't know. It's just okay. I have to actually define what I want it to look like, because I was thinking I wanted it to be animated, and I wanted the lines to like be moving, and like, rah. What am I trying to do here? Okay, new. Where is my tutorial? And then so, oh yes, okay, so let's look at this. Okay, oh yes, there we go. Okay, this may be too complicated. Because I can only do this in 3D. I cannot reasonably expect myself to animate this in 2D. So like, for, yeah, I'm feeling demotivated. Express yourself, express yourself. Use your magic powers to say how you're feeling. I'm feeling like this is out of my skill. Because I just don't understand how I'm going, okay. Let's see how this person is.
Position tab. And search, we are going to section. Click on this new icon. So simply select that object and press F2. and then you can rename it. So this is going to be the geo path node, and this will be the simply path. So let's select our plane again, divide our panel from here, and then we can switch to a geometry node editor. Now there is nothing here yet because we have to click on this new icon, so it will automatically add geometry node modifiers in the modifier section, and this will be present here. We can get rid of this group input, which is the plane. Now we can bring in our path here, but if you selected the path, our geometry node faded away, so we can again select the geometry path node and click this pin icon so that it doesn't disappear. Now you can drag the path inside the geometry node and connect the path to geometry node. After that, we can hide the path from the collection so that we don't have to work with it right now. And make sure you set it to relative as well, because only then the transformation that we made on the curve will be able to see that. Now for example, we are going to start working with just a simple point. So press Shift A and search for points. And here is a point. Now we want this point right here to be on that curve. Our curve has disappeared, but don't worry about it. You can bring it back by again enabling the curve from here. Now so that it follows the path, we can fetch the position of the curve from this here geometry. So what we need is, by pressing Shift A, we will search for sample curve node, and if we plug this into the curve, now it will give us various results. Which is
Okay, let's try to do exactly what this person does, but apply it to the. Okay.
Editor. Now there is here path after utilize geometry nodes, and that is going to be a really simple step. So first of all, let's just add a mesh.
This is our path. Oh, I typed that wrong so badly. Path. Spiral. Okay, then we add the line. We got curve, line, line, line. Where's just a line? Is there no line? Goddamn. Mesh, no. Surface, no. There's no simple, maybe it's just path. Oh, yes. Why is it called nerves? Scale this down. Hopefully it's not like some special thing or something. This is our line.
A plane into the scene. But before we start with that, we have to rename our
plane. This is our geo path spiral. Okay. All this geo path spiral. Delete that.
section, and this will be present here. We can get rid of this group input, which is the plane. Now we can bring in our path here, but if you selected the path, our geometry node faded away, so we can again select the geometry path node and click this pin icon so that it doesn't disappear. Now you can drag the path inside the geometry node and connect the path to geometry node. After that, we can hide the path from the collection so that we don't have to work with it right now. And make sure you set it to relative as well, because only then the transformation that we made on the curve will be able to see that. Now for example, we are going to start working with just a simple point. So press Shift A and search for points, and here is a point. Now we want this point right here to be on that curve. Our curve has disappeared, but don't worry about it. You can bring it back by again enabling the curve from here. Now so that it follows the path, we can fetch the position of the curve from this here geometry. So what we need is, by pressing Shift A, we will search for sample curve node, and if we plug this into the curve, now it will give us various results, which is position, tangent, and normal. What we need is the position, so we can connect this position, a set position node, which will be connected to our point.
Set position.
Connect this to the position right here. You can see the point has moved to the start of the curve. And if we change the factor here, it will follow the path. Now we want it to automatically follow the path, so we can add a scene time node, which is always
Yay! Okay, I
helpful
think
for
I'm
us.
okay. We're doing it, but this time it has to be the line. It has to be the line that
Seconds to the factor.
okay. Scene time factor. Yeah, again, it goes too fast because okay, that makes so much sense. This is actually so helpful because when we replace that point with the line, it'll look more like the thing over there.
Right here. If we start our animation by hitting that spacebar, you can see it is moving. First issue is that it is moving way too fast. Second, when it reaches the top, it just stops there. To fix that, first let's just slow it down, so we can use a simple math node, bring it in between, change this to divide. Divide is going to slow it down. The higher the value, the slower will be the speed. So I'm setting it to 100, and if you play it now, you can see it moving really slowly.
Yes.
Now the
Okay.
second thing is that we want it to repeat, right? So we can duplicate this divide node, paste it right here, and then change this to fraction. Right now it's very slow, so we won't be able to see what is happening.
Where's
So let's just
fraction?
mute this. You can see it. So we can, right now it's this divide node, paste it right here, and then change this
Okay. Fraction.
to fraction. Right now it's very slow, so we won't be able to see what is happening. So let's just mute this by pressing M. So it's back to its normal speed. And if we play from the start, you will be able to see it looping back from the start.
Okay, so if we mute this, well, now it's going too fast, so okay, it is, yes.
Again, unmute this. Now we want to increase the number of points, as there won't be just a single fish. To increase the number, we can increase the count from here. So I'm gonna set it.
How about we set it to, how many lines are there? There's like hundreds, or maybe not hundreds, dozens. Let's just set it to 100. Did that not, wait, what?
To 4,000, like that. Point is still the one. The reason
Oh,
is
because
that
they're all
the points are
connected,
at the
okay,
same position.
yes.
To randomize that, we can just use a simple node after this. So duplicate this, change this to add, randomize it, we'll use random value, connect the random value right here. And now you can see all of those curves. And they're moving as
Wait.
well.
Value. Battery low. Ugh. I don't actually need this right now, though. I'm not making music, so I'll just let it charge. Here we go. No, I said let it charge.
Well, now we can just replace all of this. Use a simple node after this. So duplicate this, change this to add, randomize it, we'll use random value, connect the random value right here. And now you can see all of those curves, and they're moving as well. Now we can just replace all of these points with a fish. So let's just go ahead of the set position and use a node which is called instance on point, and it will require an input of instance.
Sorry, I was not paying attention.
And they're moving as well. Now we can just replace all of these points with a fish. So let's just go ahead of the set position and use a node which is called instance on point, and it will require an input of instance and
Instance. Now, the one thing I'm worried about is like, excuse me.
here we have to plug in our fish. So let's just drag in our fish right here. Make sure to set it to relative and connect this geometry to the instance. Now you can see all the fishes. So we have tons of problem here. Let's just first reduce down the count to something like 50 so that we can.
Yes, that is a problem. How are we going to rotate the lines so that they're like aimed at the... Fuck, this is going to be hard.
See is actually happening. The first issue is that their direction doesn't match with the curve. To fix that direction, we are given the option of this tangent from the sample curve. We can utilize that to our advantage. For that, you just simply plug this tangent into the rotation of the
Oh. What? What did that do?
instance on point, but that won't fix it all. So, to properly fix it, you will use align rotation to vector, plug this tangent to the vector, and the rotation output to the rotation, so that it converts that vector value into the rotation, and you select this y, and now they are aligned.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. What is going on? What is going on? And why is the line so big? Oh, there we go. Apply scale. It is doing something. We need the lines to be we need the lines to be aimed at the center. But this is actually working so well. I'm surprised by how easily I was okay.
To the curve direction. But another issue that you will see is that they are going
Oh, wait,
opposite
did I just do
directions.
it? I just did it. Oh my god, they're all aimed at. Yay! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we can make this whole thing. So the only thing is, how uh how do I would have never figured this out on my own. Also, why is it off center? Oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay. Bro. God. Okay, can we randomize the size of the Yes! Yes! We can! We totally can. Holy schmoly. And we can add holy schmoly. We can add different holy schmoly. Oh my god, I'm exploding. We can add different objects because it's not just all. Oh my god. It's all coming together. This doesn't look this good currently, but I feel like if I just. I have so many ideas. So many ideas. Okay, so first let's randomize the size of the lines. Or wait, I don't know.
That opposite direction thing, you can just scale it on the y by -1, and that is fixed. The next issue is that
Wait,
I
why do we
find
have to scale it
these
by
features are
-1?
looking way too big, even for now, so I'll still scale them down enough further. Now, next, the
That does
second thing
nothing.
is that they are all going at the same speed. we would like to some have at a faster speed and some at a slower speed, right? So we can fix that by just going back to the scene time area, and we can just after the divide node we can duplicate this add node, change this to multiply, and then connect
Oh
this
wait, sorry,
randomized
I
node.
was not paying attention.
Make slower speed, right? So we can fix that by just going back to the scene time area, and we can just after the divide node we can duplicate this add node, change this to multiply, and then connect this randomized node. Make sure you don't set it to 100, that would be a too much speed, so I'll set the 1 to the max, and the minimum speed will be 0.2. And if you connect it to the multiply node, it will multiply
Wait, why? Wait, I totally did something wrong.
the speed and giving random duplicate back to the scene time area, and we can just after the divide node we can duplicate this add node, change this to multiply, and then connect this randomized node. Make sure you don't set it to 100, that would be a too much speed, so I'll set the 1 to the max, and the minimum speed will be 0.2. And if you connect it to the multiply node, it will multiply the speed and giving random speed to the each fish. If you play it now, some fish will be going faster and some
That didn't work. It kind of worked. Like some. Well, why are the ones in this? Pow, 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 pow. Um.
be going slower, 0.2. And if the duplicate this add node, change this to multiply, and then connect this randomized node. Make sure you don't set it to 100, that would be a too much speed, so I'll set the 1 to the max, and the minimum speed will be 0.2.
I think I did something wrong. They're like going faster in the center. What if I duplicate? One is fine. Even 0.5. But like, let's lower it to like 0.01. I think part of it is that why doesn't anyone watch your videos? I think it's just a matter of the YouTube algorithm. It's not because like people who watch my videos like them. It's not that they're bad videos. We need to increase the amount to maybe like 150. I feel like I feel like I did something wrong. You like my channel? Thank you.
And if you connect it to the multiply node, it will multiply
Oh,
the speed and giving random speed to the each fish. If you play it now, some fish will be going faster and some will be going slower. Now the next issue is that these fishes are going to each other. So again, to fix that we can head back. Node, change this to multiply, some have at a faster speed and some at a slower speed, right? So we can fix that by just going back to the scene time area, and we can
8. Hmm. Hmm. How do I randomize their size?
just after the divide node, we can duplicate this add node, change this to multiply, we will apply. Again, to fix that, we can head back to the set position right here, connect a random value node to it. But this is in flotation each other. So again, to fix that, we can head back to the set position right here, connect a random value node to it. But this is in float, and this value right here is vector. We change this to the vector, connect this to the offset, and change this to 1 and -1. But this is way too powerful. The randomness, of course. To reduce it down, we can use a vector math node and set it to scale. Connect this to the scale, connect it back to the offset, and reduce down the scale to 0.1 or 0.4. That should be good enough. Now we can
Oh. Scale. Oh, I see. Random value. Yes! Oh, bye. Hmm.
Bring our fishes back to 4,000 count, and we have lots of fish, and it is looking really cool. Let's have a view from the top and look at that. How cool is that view? So, wasn't this really simple? I know geometry nodes can be tough sometimes, but if you understand it properly, you will get all the results you want. But we still have a problem. If you play, you will see this weird flipping. We can fix that, of course, but let's just switch this to Z, and then the thing that we have to do is rotate our original fish. Focus on our original fish, rotate on x-axis by minus 90 degree. It can be different for you, but we have to do this, and now it should be better than before. Now our work in the geometry node is done. Now before we start making the environment in the blender, what we have to do is arrange the scene properly. So we'll add some
Okay.
camera and stuff. So let's just divide this panel again from here, and I'm gonna change this to a viewport. I'm gonna make this one on.
Hmm. Living in the fever dream, living in the fever dream, living in the fever dream, living. If I'm even living, I don't feel living in the fever dream. I think that's all I want to do today, 'cause I did a lot. Um, ah, find me, I'll be dying. We can. Yeah, I think I'm done for the day with Blender. Hello. I want to like deaccelerate the ones at the start, but I literally do not know how because it's not a part of the tutorial. Um, Thank you. I appreciate your support. Let's render this, or we have to turn off. Why is it taking so long? Oh, I'm lagging. Oh no. Sorry about that. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's not gonna let me render while I'm streaming. Um, yeah, no. Oh my God. My God, my God, my God. I'll just render this later.
Only a camera view. So press this X icon and I'm going to add camera by pressing Shift A and add a camera. Now I'm gonna move this out a little bit and let's look through the camera by clicking this icon. It's too
Hmm.
far, let's just go closer, something like that. Move the camera a bit a little up. If you want to have that wide angle,
Oh, Sorry. Oh,